Hello and welcome to Nerds Only with me, KJ Curry. If you're a dice goblin like me, you've probably got more dice than you know what to do with. Luckily, there's a TTRPG for that. Bag of Holding, a one-page solo procedural dungeon crawling RPG, gives you a very good reason to have all those shiny pieces of plastic. The game was created by D3B4G for the 2020 one-page RPG Jam on itch.io, and it's available for free. This one-page RPG can be as long or short as you want it to be. It took me about 30 minutes to do a 7-room dungeon, and that includes reading through all the rules, creating my character, and dumping all my dice into a bag. The character creation is super easy. All you have to do is draw 3 dice at random from your bag of holding and assign them to the 3 ability scores, which are strength, dexterity, and intelligence. So effectively, you can create a fighter, a rogue, or a mage, or just someone really intelligent, just, depending on your flavor. The first time I played, I got a D12, a D8, and a D6. I decided to make intelligence my main stat, sort of creating a magic-based character. I assigned the D12 to that ability, and then since HP is connected to strength, I assigned the D8 to that, and then I dumped the D6 on dex. From there, you set up the parameters of your dungeon by drawing dice from your bag to determine the nature of the adventure, what your main goal is, and that sort of thing. The location of the adventure is what you do next. So you draw a die from your bag and it will reveal the location. So that kind of adds some potential for flavoring the enemies and that sort of thing. And then finally, you draw another die to determine who your main enemies are. Once you have all those figured out, you create your dungeon by deciding how many rooms you want it to have. More rooms equals more time, and then drawing a die to determine what kind of room each one is. You can draw out a map, but I just listed each room and then drew like little lines to create connections. So like this door leads to this room and that sort of thing. Once you get that done, it's finally time to play. And so when entering a room, you draw 1 die to determine what challenge may be in it. This is not the same die or challenge we'll use. You draw a new one for that. So just kind of keep that in mind. To beat the challenge, you draw a threat die. As for you, you choose the ability that you want to put against it, whether that be your intelligence, your strength, or your dexterity, and you roll your die, and if you get equal to or higher, you get a success. However, certain threats do deal damage, so if you fail, you'll take some damage and you can try again. And then there are other threats that can combat threats. And then while in combat, you just continue to roll until you or the threat reaches 0 HP. The first time I played, I had some bad luck and I was getting really down to it. Then I realized that I picked up an NPC earlier in the dungeon and I had him help me out a little bit. And that's sort of the beauty of this game is you can do that sort of thing. Once you do overcome a challenge, you then can draw a die from the bag for the rewards table and you receive that reward. It could be, treasure. It could be something good that happens in your storyline, achieving the quest at hand or something like that. So now the adventure ends if you die, if you achieve your objective, or if you have explored the entire dungeon. There are some game modes listed in the doc as well, if you want to sort of fine-tune the experience, if you want something that's harder or easier. And then there's also an advancement mechanic so that you can continue to sort of level up your character. It's simply adding a +1 modifier to an ability of your choice. So you could really take this far. Now, while this is a solo RPG, technically, I think it could also be played with up to 3 players and no DM. Each player would choose a different ability to make their highest, so you could effectively have a fighter, a rogue, and a mage all sort of going through the dungeon. You would then triple the number of challenges in each room, and then you'd be good to go. I personally really enjoyed the solo RPG. It provides just enough details to sort of get your imagination going, without being too specific or overbearing. The first time I played, I received the quest objective reward on my first success. So I decided that that would just mean I picked up an NPC, the same one I mentioned. And then he was able to then help me later on in the dungeon. He was effectively a barbarian, considering the die that I drew for him for hit points. So yeah, he helped me get to the end of the dungeon, and it sort of helped me get out of that scrape that I mentioned earlier. This game has the potential for hours and hours of fun, and I don't see why you couldn't change things up in the random tables to freshen it up a bit and keep going. You know, you could reflavor things, you can do a lot with it. So it's a really cool framework. I really like the mechanics of it, and I feel like it was really well thought out. I'm definitely going to keep playing because it's so simple and it gives me something to do with the hundreds of dice that I have on hand. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I will leave the link to Bag of Holding down below so that you can pick it up for free. It is just a simple one-page document. Very cool. I highly recommend it. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.